versus Out of Sight.
Alright guys, and welcome back to Alliance Tournament 15 action. I am Elise Randolph, joined by Ithaca Hawk, and we'll be bringing you the first match of the day between Waffles and Out of Sight. Waffles, the team in red here, came in directly on the beacon more or less, with 2 Sleipnirs, 2 Gilas, 2 Moas, a Manticore, Stiletto, and a Scimitar for reps. Ithaca, tell me about the Out of Sight team.
Well, Out of Sight come in at range here, the entire team coming in at 50 kilometers from the beacon. They're bringing a kind of shield drone setup here, going with Scimitar, Hugin, Dual Gila, Dual Ishtar, Dual Navy Osprey, Bifrost or Bifrost, and a Mollis. So interesting, they're obviously looking to just kite around, get those long range Scimitar reps, use that Mollis to damp down the Waffles team.
Yeah, it's going to be really important for the Waffles to be able to do something about this Out of Sight Hugin. The Hugin is going to be able to control both these Sleipnirs fairly well, or it might decide to go out and put its webs and paints onto the Scimitar, and Out of Sight could instantly zonk it. The Scimitar is actually fairly close to the Hugin. I don't think he's going to have to go very far to get those webs and paint onto him.
Yeah, exactly. Now they're going to really want to probably just charge up and get in on top of Out of Sight, but if they're smart, they'll just spread out and just starburst around. We'll probably see them approach some of those micro jump drive units and just sort of hover there. That way, if they're getting a lot of damage when they're not scrammed, they can just jump away from danger and live to win another day.
The Waffles did ban the Vexor Navy issue, which looks like Out of Sight probably wanted to take instead of these Navy Ospreys. So this Navy Osprey fit might be a little bit of a shoehorn. As we see the links going active here, the match will be underway in just any second here.
Yes, we're underway, and we're already seeing the Waffles team just charging straight at Out of Sight, who are moving in all different directions. They're starting to split up. A whole bunch of drones are coming down. Their Praetors coming down straight towards the Waffles team. This Stiletto charging up, trying to get tackle on things. It looks like he is webbed and jammed and taking a lot of damage. The reps not landing in time, and Stiletto is going to go down on the Waffle side. He's in deep hull, and he is down already.
Yeah, the Stiletto on the Waffle side was a suicide Stiletto trying to get a tackle on that Hugin, but the Hugin belonging to Out of Sight has just pulled really far away. We can see the Out of Sight team actually charging into this micro jump unit. If Waffles don't have any scrams, we might be able to see these guys just blinking out of harm's way here.
Yeah, we're seeing a couple of scrams starting to land on the Gila and the Navy Osprey, one of them being webbed now as well. The Hugin is getting reps when he's painted and taking a little bit of damage, and that is a Moa down for Waffles as well, so currently Waffles struggling to apply the damage. Oh, that Navy Osprey there of Aki is taking a huge amount of damage. He is all out of shield, taking huge amounts of armor damage, just not enough reps landing at all. He's hitting hull, he's going to be down, and he is down.
I'm not seeing Tiana Stark in the Scimitar for Waffles getting any reps really on field. He's been sitting too far away from the action, a little bit afraid to die. But that first tackle Moa from Waffles is dead. It looks like these Moas do have scrams, so the Out of Sight strategy of just using the MJD beacon and blinking away when they were getting low is not going to work here.
No, and that second Moa for Waffles is taking huge damage. And again, no reps landing on him. He's repping the Manticore, and that Moa is going down. He's jammed in, not enough reps, and he is dead. So that Manticore taking some damage as well. It looks like they're trying to keep him alive, and they are doing an okay job at that. There's a huge amount of damage if they lose that Manticore. But losing those 2 tackle Moas is really going to disrupt their ability to control this match.
Yeah, absolutely. Out of Sight team can just kite away really right now. The Waffles only have really 2 Gilas left for any form of tackle, or maybe this Ferox has a little bit of tackle, but it's not going to be able to catch up to the Gilas and Ishtars. They're very, very fast.
Yeah, and that's
I'm wondering what's going on with the Tiana Stark Scimitar. He was not able to get any reps off. As you mentioned, he was repping Mike Hazard in the Manticore, who was at full health, while the Moa belonging to Valior was going down.
Yeah, we're seeing him right now being chased around by a swarm of Praetors. He's trying to outrun them. He's taking a lot of damage, but so far seems to be tanking. He has fired his ASB a couple of times, so we aren't seeing that much damage apply as the drones struggle to keep up with them. The heavy drones are actually swapping onto a different target, and it looks like the Waffles Gila of Sis 7 has been webbed and jammed and disrupted, so it looks like damage is going to swap to him very soon.
Yeah, absolutely, and it looks like I've been trying to keep an eye on this Mollis belonging to Out of Sight. A Mollis isn't a ship you generally see very often in the Alliance tournament, at least recently, because you can't put scripts in your damps. But it does look like this guy, in the very early stages at least, he might have been damping the Scimitar, but I know for a fact the last 2 targets that weren't locked, The Scimitar was not damped. He was just standing a little bit too far away, I believe.
Yeah, that Mollis is just hanging out down by one of them MJD beacons at the moment. He's completely unmolested, just chilling out down there using his long-range damps. We're seeing the Hugin of Outer Sight starting to take a little bit of damage. But it looks like so far Gelter and the Scimitar is having not much difficulty keeping most of his guys alive. They did lose that Gila, they did lose that Navy Osprey, but now on seeing that Hugin is now taking a lot of damage. He is webbed, and the high damage from those Sleipnirs, the Gilas, and that first is starting to apply to him. Reps landing, and just if he can hold this Hugin, Outer Sight might be able to just take this win if they stay away from the Waffles team.
Oh, Lex Nitro doing a really good job keeping these Gilas off of him. You know, he just put one web on each and managed to overheat his micro warp drive just enough to coast out of web range for these things, and he is back sitting pretty. The Waffles really need to get this Hugin down so they can apply all of their damage. The Sleipnirs and Gilas just are kind of like chasing these guys, but they're just far too slow. They're not going to be able to catch up.
Yeah, it looks like that Scimitar of Waffles is now dropping really low into shields. He's starting to bleed armor very soon now. He's firing his boosters as much as he can. As soon as he runs out of charges, he's going to drop unless he gets out of dodge right now and gets away from those drones. It looks like he is stabilizing, but I don't know how many charges he's got left, so we should just see him drop off very, very quickly.
Yeah, he's not long for this world, and now he is webbed by this Hugin. We see this Hugin doesn't even have target painters, so they don't even really care about blooming up the SIG of any of these targets. He's just going max webs to tackle as many things as possible. It's a very good control setup, and this Hugin, you might not have been able to see it, but he did save the day a few times for this out of sight team. Very good piloting by Lex Nitro to both not get caught and control everything just right.
Yeah, so we are approaching exactly 5 minutes through this match, and if you just look at the difference in the control bars from Outer Sight and Waffles, you see Outer Sight have all the control just now. However, they are still down some points. They do need to kill at least one of the remaining Waffle ships, otherwise they will lose on points. So they are doing a good job just kiting around and staying away from the Waffles team, but likewise they are struggling to apply damage. But saying that Scimitar now dropping very low again, there's a chance he's been able to reload his ASB if he's been very brave, but it doesn't look like it. He's not boosting just now, and he's just barely getting any shield left. He's dropping, starting to bleed a little bit of armor. He has to try and rep Sys 7 as well in that Gila, so this could be a very clutch moment for him. No, and he is boosting again. He looks like he has reloaded or saved a boost right for the end. He isn't tackled, so he could still live.
Yep, Tiana Stark is now sitting at an MJD beacon. Importantly, Waffles have been shooting these drones. We haven't been able to see it too well because, I mean, drones don't show up on the HP bars of anything, but Waffles have been killing a lot of drones from the out of sight team. And these Ishtars don't have many, and the Healers don't have many drones left. I don't know if it's going to buy them enough time. Like, so the Scimitar is being chased. It was at one point being chased by only 2 drones, and Praetors fire EM damage, which is the highest resist for the Scimitar, so it might be able to tank decently well right here.
Yeah, worth noting as well, this is the losers bracket we're watching today, so whatever team loses this is out of the Alliance tournament completely, and the other team that wins will stay on to live to fight another day. At the moment, Waffle's still taking it just purely on points. It's just 20-14. Could go either way. All one team needs to do is to kill 1 or 2 ships, and they'll have a pretty strong lead.
Yeah, Waffle's going at this very methodically. They know they had a weak start going in and shaky, but you know what? They stabilized. They stayed focused. They've been focusing on killing these drones, and we can see the attack bar for out of sight. Look how small it is for how much damage is being applied. Out of sight, focused right now on the Scimitar. They have one last-ditch effort while their drones are still up there, and they have the Scimitar tackled. This is going to be the most important fight for them. If they can get the Scimitar down, they will have not only the points lead, but they'll be able to chip away at everything else. Oh no, but the Hugin belonging to Out of Sight is now scramped and webbed.
Yeah, if they can just kill that Hugin before that Scimitar dies, they can extract the Scimitar, but it doesn't look like they're going to do it. He is in low hull and he is gone. However, that Hugin is now dropping into very low shields. Oh, and he's been volleyed into hull. A little bit of reps landing, but it's not going to be enough. He's going to bleed through. He's going to go down into his hull and he's going to die. Oh, but he is surviving. The reps are landing. Oh, it's going to be so close, and he is down as well. So now we're 32-31. Waffle's still up by 1 point. So Outer Sight, both teams, Outer Sight need to kill just 1 ship to get anything to get ahead in 2 minutes 20 seconds, and they do still have their Scimitar. So this still could go Outer Sight's way.
The Gila has now been tackled. The Gila belonging to Out of Sight was tackled for just a short moment by this Ferox. And oh, he's tackled again. He is tackled again.
The Gila on Waffle's side also taking a lot of damage, and of course Waffles to have no reps. So if they can kill, this is going to be a Gila trade, but it looks of it here. Both Gilas dropping roughly the same time. If both of them drop, then we'll still be a 1-point differential with Waffles up. But Waffles' Gila is still surviving. The damage has dropped off completely. He's just not taking any damage now. He's got, oh, there we go. He's starting to take a little bit of armor, but he's just not dying.
Wow, what a crazy match! Just going back and forth and back and forth. Waffles have the slight advantage right now. I think Out of Sight are probably getting a little bit worried here. They're missing a lot of drones. They might be needing to go and scoop some of these drones just so they can apply, some damage on anything.
Yeah, so that Gila is just bleeding hull. He's half hull now. And the longer it takes Out of Sight to kill this Gila, who's just trying to run away, the less time they've got to kill another ship to get back up on points. They're still going to be down by 1 point when this Gila dies. It's going to be so close. They're going to have just about a minute to catch and kill something on this field. And all the ships here, despite not having logic, are still pretty tanky.
Meanwhile, Sis7, while he is running away, there are only 2 drones chasing him. And these are not Gila drones because there's no Gilas left. In fact, there's only 1 drone, 1 Berserker chasing Sis7 right now. And if he can kill that, then he will be sitting pretty. He's just got a sliver of armor left, or a sliver of structure left.
Yeah, he's just so low, and he's about to die, I think. That last drone is just going to finish him off, and there he goes. So Waffles up by exactly 1 point. 38 seconds left for Out of Sight to just kill anything. The Squishy's target's probably going to be this Ferrex if they can grab it. There is no logistics left on the Waffle side, so it's going to be a damage race, but Waffle's doing a great job there, killing all the drones and just removing the damage. Look at the size of the attack bar for Out of Sight now. It's just non-existent. I just don't think they're going to do it. Waffles are probably going to take this with 1 point. That is a
Waffles
really close
are actually
match.
doing it. I can't believe it. They lost their 2 Moas right at the start, not getting any reps. Their Scimitar just, for whatever reason, couldn't get the reps off on time, but Waffles stayed composed. They shot drones this entire match while we were wondering what was going on. And my goodness, they're going to win with a 1-point victory. Actually make that 4 points because they got another ship down, the Mollusk, right at the end. Oh my god, Waffles pulling this one out of the skin of their teeth.
A fantastic match there, and we'll toss us back to the guys in the studio.
Is a union of powerful mega corporations have brought its people both misery and triumph.
Hey guys, welcome back. After a nail-biter of a match there, really crazy stuff going on. However, before we go over to the analysts, quick chat with Mr. Nash Cadaver, who was telling us a little bit about how you guys can win some ISK during the course of the day today.
Yes, indeed. So a little addition that we've got here today is the little voting tool. So you can basically pick or guess which team is going to win on the next match. If you go to vote.eve.tacnt.uk, you can basically vote. A lot of people have voted in the last match already. I think we had 300 votes on this last match, and we'll draw a lucky winner from the correct guesses.
Also going on today and tomorrow as well, we have the viewing party going on. We've got some pictures of that to show you on the stream right now. We've got the guys over in the Antenna main restaurant and bar for today, and then tomorrow it's going to be in the Alt Gaming Lounge just round the corner from us. Yes, please, if we can have that on the screen. There we go. We've got some guys hanging out in the booths. We've got maybe 20 or so, maybe some more people now, and then more scheduled to arrive during the day as we only just started. But still, we should move on to actually talk about that match, because the next one is coming up quite shortly. That match was interesting, to say the least. We had, I think, a lot of piloting errors, but at the same time, a lot of really cool stuff going on in the background as well, which kind of made it a really nice back and forward match. At the beginning of the match, we saw the Waffle Scimitar flying way out of rep range of everything else, and then kind of losing some ships due to that. And then we saw Waffles being kited all around, managing to catch a few things. Some very interesting damp placement from the Maulus of out of sight there, as well as some interesting piloting from out of sight. First thing I want to ask about though, Suetonia. We see kind of a fairly, harkening back to 8012, Slep Gila Rush comp version of Minmatar Rush, which is great with the drone damage. What do you think about MOAs in that comp? Because I always thought that the lower end needs to be based around tackling. You need to hold stuff down in order to get those Slepners onto them, in order to get those Gila drones caught up to them. Do you think that MOAs fill that role well? They are very cheap. We were talking about MOAs last weekend. Or do you think you need something a bit faster, maybe an assault frigate in the 4-point slot?
I think MOAs work pretty well here. They only cost 4 points. They have that shield resist bonus. They put out a lot of damage. They are quite slow. They're one of the slowest cruisers. I think they only go about 1.6 before links. But I think they fill that role well. Obviously, Harpy costs the same amount of points, has the same resists, doesn't provide the same amount of damage, but it is that hard attacker. It's faster, got that Sig Bloom bonus, so maybe they would be better served with Harpies there.
Okay, so we now have the play-by-play of the very beginning of the match about to come up here. Now, Reload, if you take us through this, we're going from the perspective of the Waffles semi-pilot. Why don't you tell us about a little error that was made here?
All right, so it does look like Waffles did warp in at some weird ranges. They all warped in at 0, while the Skimmy obviously warped at 50. It's pretty standard. As you can see here, the Waffle Simmy is actually burning away. It's actually burning, trying to get around the out-of-sight team, trying to get a nice position, but it turns out he's actually gone a bit too far away. His mower tackle obviously rushed in quite a lot. That Stiletto just getting instantly nuked. He's not getting any reps. He's finally realized his mistake, and he's thinking, okay, I should probably try and turn around now, but at this point, a Mo's also taking a lot of damage. Remember, out-of-sight is kiting those Osprey Navies, those Gilas, so they're doing a lot of damage, and these Moas probably only got an XLASB on their tank, and they're probably just going to get alpha through straight away. He's realized his mistake now. He is trying to maneuver towards the Waffles team right now. He's trying to, make sure get a good position, because outside can just go and dive in for them.
There we see no reps applied with the Moa going down. So Logi pilots, be careful. Stay in range of the things you need to rep. That's very important. I would love to go over this match more, because I think there are a ton of key insightful points, but unfortunately we have to move on, as in only 4 minutes we have the second match of the day, really exciting match. We have Goonswarm Federation going up against the Ronin. Goonswarm in the first round losing to Brave Collective, then beating Blades of Grass. Next, the Ronin, possibly I think my favourite team of the tournament so far, just because I love their use of logistics frigates, how good they are at them, how different it is to the rest of the match we're seeing. The Ronin beat Team Skill in the first round, and then they lost to Test Alliance Please Ignore. What do you guys think about these two teams going through the bracket so far? Let's start with Goonswarm Federation. Reload or Suetonia?
Goons are, they're a pretty newish, they are actually quite a new alliance to the Alliance tournament. They went through the feeder rounds. I think they went through the losers, if I recall. They did.
They went 1 and 3.
So, they have some fight in them, that's for sure, going through those loser feeder rounds. And then they did eventually get in. Losing to Brave, that's quite a grudge match. Brave versus Goons in the Alliance tournament. Brave did obviously win against Goons, and now Goons have to go against kind of a bit of a giant, which is 47 Ronin.
Yeah, so speaking of Ronin, who have been an incredible tourney team for a very, very long time. Suetonia, you're much older in the tournament scene than I am. Tell us a little about the story of the Ronin and where they find themselves today.
So the Ronin have been a very strong team very early on. They won early 80s. I believe they won the Tempest Tribal issues, which I believe there's only 4 in the game, and Ronin won those. They've also always been a top 4 place team. They've come top 4. They were top 4 in 8013. They've come top 4, top 8 very recently. Haven't quite made it to the prize brackets. They haven't been able to beat Hydra, PL. Well, they have beat Hydra before in 8012, but they haven't quite been able to consistently beat these good teams. I think Ronin has a huge advantage over Goonswarm, though. So far, Goonswarm have only shown drone ships, and the Ronin can just ban the drone ships. The Goonswarm, like Rilo had said, they have played in the Anger games, they did play in the feeder rounds, but they don't have that much experience because they haven't played since 8011. So if I was the Ronin against Goonswarm, I'm going to ban Vexor Navy issue EOS and make them face me in a rush comp. I think also Ronin are very difficult to ban for Goonswarm, because the Ronin are actually the only team in this tournament so far to opt for logistics frigates with no Tech 2 logistic bans. So they're very happy to just fly logistics frigates, even if technologies are banned. So what do Goons want ban against the Ronin?
And I mean, one of the things we were saying last weekend, especially about the Ronin, is that you know you've got a match or two this weekend, so you're preparing specifically for those matches, maybe thinking about the following weekends if you make it through, but really it's this weekend is what matters. So you say you've got to play the Ronin next, it's the elimination match. All of today is losers bracket matches, so everything is elimination. You lose, you're out for today. How do you practice against the Logifrig comp from the Ronin, which we're fairly safe to assume that they're running some sort of logistics frigate? Firstly, you need to understand how Logifrig comms work and have practiced against them, have theory crafted them a bit, which nobody's really done to the extent of the Ronin over the past couple of years. And then secondly, who do you practice against? Who can fly Logifrigates as well as the Ronin so you can have valid, real practice against that comp? I mean, we'll have to guess. I guess we'll have to find out whether Goons have found the answer to crack the Ronin, such a fantastic team that we've been talking about, as we go to the match right now.
Welcome to this match.